Well, hey guys, thanks for tuning into the video. This is a video of my 2000 Chevy Astro camper van. I lived out of it for the last 7 months. I'm currently not living in it. Can't wait to get back in it and get back out on the road. Pretty good body on it all the way around, though I did put a little bit of the mountains took its toll on it. Had one of these protectors fly off, got packed in snow when I was out and got stuck in it. And it squats a little bit in the back right now, but I'm going to be adding a leaf spring to it, so hopefully that fixes the problem. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at her. I went ahead and took 1x and I stained them and I did the whole ceiling like this. Now, the floor, I also went ahead and I did the floor out of 1x because I actually cut a hole in the floor and there's a trap fuel pump door. If I ever need to change a fuel pump out real quick. Actually got a replacement fuel pump right here. I'm a little bit paranoid about my pump going out. Van's got 131,000, you might as well say 132,000 miles on it. It's got a lot of life, but you never know how long those stock fuel pumps are gonna last. I actually drive around with a spare water pump too. I'll go ahead and put my stove down real quick. But while we're on this subject real quick, this usually goes right here, but I had to take off the tape because the batteries went dead and I didn't have any more Gorilla tape, so Gorilla tape was the only thing that I could find that actually holds this up here. The duct tape ends up wearing off and ends up just falling down over time. Gotta get this light cleaned up and then go ahead and get some Gorilla tape on here and get it back to where it goes. It's really nice though having it here when I cook and everything. I really like it. Also got this solar light right here. It really comes in handy as well. I use that when I'm cooking too or whatever I'm doing. It's a real handy light to have. While we're looking at the stove, I'll go ahead and go over that. It's a dual burner stove by Coleman. Obviously propane, and I just have that over here. That was why I ended up building this little shelf here, but it works out pretty good. Got a knife for cooking over here, and that could be a security knife. Hopefully I'll never have to use it, but you know, I just found this the other day when I was cleaning out the van. Potato peeler. On occasion I'll use the dual burner, but most of the time I just cook with this one over here. As you can see, should probably get that cleaned up too, but it's not the biggest thing in the world to me. Usually I always leave it set up and it's always open when I'm going down the road, even though I had an issue where I broke this off when I was driving down the road just because I was overly packed down. I won't ever be doing that again, to say the least. Having too much stuff when you live in a van is actually a pretty big inconvenience. There's only a certain amount of stuff that I can haul in this van and make it comfortable. If I have too much stuff, like when I decided to build a gold dredge, I'm going to have to figure out something different how to haul that thing around, because like I said, when this van is packed down, it's just a small Vinny van. It's just not fun living in a van when it's all packed down. Otherwise, I love van life, guys. Now, usually my bed's all made up right here, but since I'm not currently living in the van, I don't have it all made up right now. So the reason that it's squatting down in the back is because all the weight right here. See, I originally built the bed. I was hoping that I could sleep this way, and you could probably get away with that in this van. If you were to build a bed right off the floor, you might be able to get away with sleeping sideways, but it was important to me that I had all this room down below for storage and stuff like that, so I needed to have the high clearance up here. So that's why I went ahead and built the bed a little bit higher off the ground. And I ended up having to add this additional length right here because, well, I wasn't planning on sleeping this way. Like I said, I was planning on sleeping this way, but once I got up there and found out that there was no way in heck I was going to fit, I had to figure out another solution, because originally this refrigerator right here, I actually was hoping that I could store that right in between the seats right here, but there was just no way in heck that was going to fit. It was a little bit bigger than what I thought, so I had to come up with a solution for that too, and it worked out pretty good and made the most sense. It was really the only option that I had was to put the bed this way, and I'm really happy with the setup and how it turned out. There isn't much that I would change. I might consider changing the floor out and using a piece of 1/4 inch Luan instead of using a 1x, because with the sheet of Luan I could cut some weight out for sure. But overall, a question that I get sometimes is how much weight did I add to the van? Well, the seats that I had in this van, they were actually pretty heavy, so they weigh well over 50 pounds a piece. I'd even say they weigh about 70 pounds a piece. You take those out, you got a little bit of room for wood weight. With the amount of wood that I have, I don't think the wood really weighs that much to the build. I just think the reason that it squats down, all the weight is right over the axle in the back. Well, not all of it, but there's a good amount of weight right over the back. And on top of that, get that out of the way, I have my storage down here. You can't see everything down in here, but I have my tools, I have my drill, I got drill bits, a little mini torch down there for melting down gold. I just have a little bit extra weight, and that happens to be right over the tire. And I drove this thing over the grain elevator scales, and it came out right to where it actually was supposed to be. It actually came out a little bit under than what the van specs and says that it weighs. Now, I don't know, the grain elevator scales could be off a little bit too. I don't think the wood really weighs that much more after you take the seats out and stuff, because like I said, those seats have a little bit of weight to them. As far as this right here, this is a 12-volt power outlet that actually works. I thought about stuffing it up in here, but this is where the factory light was. And well, like I said, this is a 12-volt power source, and it still is hot and it still works. So I went ahead and left that up there just in case in the future I ever want to do anything with that. I'll have another power source right here. And as I just said, I thought about putting a loo on here, but guys, I really like the 1x look. This was part of the reason that I did it. It's because I really liked the way that looked, and I kind of wanted to make the log cabin feel in here. I figured I'm going to be living out of it. I might as well be comfortable, and I might as well like it. Got a couple hooks up here for hanging. Well, that's not ideal, but it'll work. Usually I have my jumper start pack and I stuff it right up here for the day. This is what I call day mode in the van. Then I can get into my refrigerator and everything. Seat right here, I just got a swivel on it. And this is from when I welded inside the van. My lever broke off and I tried to fix it. I didn't feel like removing the seat, and I had some steel welder right here for a lever, but yeah, it didn't work out very good. Ended up breaking back off. Over here too, same thing, broke off. So now I'm using vice grips to adjust my seats. Pretty easy to spin around though, just right there. And there you have it. Put the armrest down. So when I'm spending time in the van, this is what it looks like, and it works out real good. Sometimes I go ahead and close that stove and I put my laptop right on top of it, and I watch movies at nighttime. If I'm editing YouTube videos, I just put the computer on my lap and I do all my editing right here. And yeah, really happy with how the van turned out. And I believe I can fit 64 cans of soda or 64 cans of beer, whatever you want. And I put all my refrigerator needs down here just like you would in a house. Got my salt down here right now just to keep it safe from the mice. I had a little issue. You can see they kind of got in here and they kind of made a mess of things. It was one night I was going to get in the van. There was a mouse running up here. I just turned around and went inside. I said, screw it. I had a mess I cleaned up back here the other day, but this is just a little bit more extra storage. It's just a little bit more cubby hole. I got my boots and I got my rock pick hammer. When I'm out gold mining, chipping away that dirt and taking some samples, that's what I use that hammer for. I got some boots back here for when I'm out gold mining or whatever. But this is what I call day mode, and this is how I chill out. And if I need to get something to drink or want to make something to eat, I can just get right in here to my refrigerator, come down here and pop it up and get down in there and get what I need out of it. Close it back up, and I don't have it hooked up right now, but it works really good. I can turn it into a freezer. It will go all the way down to negative temperatures, like -2 or -4. I usually run it at about 37 degrees. That seems to be the best for the power. I currently have a 50 amp hour battery, and this is my solar charger controller. You can see both the lights blinking on and off right now. That means my battery is 100% full, and I'm just sending a tending charge into it right now. So this is an opportunity where I could actually be charging another 50 amp hour battery up. And I have a 100-watt panel up here made by Renogy. And the reason I went with Renogy is because it's one of the top brands out there, and I figured, well, how can you go wrong with buying the best stuff? So I knew this is something I'm going to be using for a long time and something that I want to last. So I went ahead and bought a Renogy panel just because of their dependability, and they're a pretty well-known brand, and they seem to have a pretty good solid product. Had to drill a hole in the roof. That was kind of a little bit sketchy, but worked out pretty good. Just took some RTV silicone and matched the color pretty good. You really can't even tell. If you're not tall, I'm 5'8", so unless you're 6 foot something, you really can't even tell the solar panel's up there. My refrigerator stays pretty ran all the time, unless I'm camping in a camp spot where I don't have shade for a day. However, to fix that problem, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire in an isolator switch, so every time the van's running, going down the road or just idling, it'll be sending a charge over here to the battery, because most of the time I'm running the van for a little bit each day, but there are times when I'm camped at areas and camped down where I'm not even turning the van on for a week and a half at a time. Holy crap. Well, yeah, you can see where the mice have got into it. Freaking nasty. Gotta clean that out. Thankfully they didn't chew up my books, my atlas books. I just keep my road atlases back here and my maps, and I have my tow straps back here and all that kind of stuff is what I keep back here. Gonna have to get some new hydraulics. As you can see, this is what I use my paddle for. And conveniently, this broke off when I was on the road. But I'm becoming a pretty good expert at reaching down in there and getting that open. So this is my bottom storage, and usually the spare tire is supposed to go right underneath here. I tell you what though, the mountains really tested me last time I went out on the road. My spare tire holder, the cable broke, and yeah, this is where my spare tire is supposed to be, right up in here, but as you can see, that's currently not the case. So I got a little bit of work to do to get this thing going again. I'll tell you what though, I'm never going to pack. Alright guys, last thing I haven't showed you yet. And since my seat, unfortunately I can't take this all the way down right now, but what I do is I stick my guitar back in here, and this is where my guitar goes. Down in this compartment here is where I keep my shaving cream, my toothbrush, my deodorant, all that type of stuff. Over here I keep my bug spray. I mean, whatever. This is all bathroom miscellaneous stuff. So the van is fully insulated around. I build it to camp in the winter as well, and pretty much built this van to camp in it all year round. That's my plan. And yeah, I'm working on getting into the lifestyle, guys, where I can do this year round. Right now I go out on extended trips. I go out from anywhere from 4 to 7 months at a time when I hit the road. But yeah, one of these days I look forward to turning the key and staying on the road full time. Eventually I like to get a bigger van. I like to get a 4x4 3/4 ton van. But like I said earlier in the video, if it made the cut, the reason that I went with the Astro van is because the price and the affordability. And I paid like $3,400 for the van, so all the other 4x4 vans cost a lot more than that. So that was the reason I went with the Astro van. Another reason that I went with the Astro van is because my truck has the same engine in it, and it has 299,000 miles, just getting ready to turn over 300,000. So the Vortec engines are really good engines, and they last a long time. So that's another reason that I went with it. The van has a lot of running miles left on it, and it should last a pretty long time. At least I'm hoping so. So all right, guys. If you enjoyed the video and want to come along for the ride, be sure to smash the sub button, and I'll see you in the next one.